Hello everyone, my name is Eric Mullins, and today we're going to be looking at the anime figure made by Flare, but produced by Square Enix, of Trials of Mana, or Seiken Densetsu 3 for some of you, Riesz. Now I picked this figure up directly from Japan. It's pretty awesome. I have a bunch of videos about it, you can always check them out, I'll have the links in the comment section. I even unboxed her while in Japan, so I will show that to you now.
You might be wondering, why is he wearing such a nice hat? Well, that's because I'm currently in Japan, and this hat gives me more adventures in life. It's my adventure hat. Now I'm gonna open up this box. This is actually used, and for an amazing price, and it's so pretty, so enough talking, let's get to opening this thing. So a fun thing about buying used figures from Japan, and I don't just mean while you're in Japan, just ordering them in general from wherever you may be, is that a lot of the times Japanese people like their figures and their boxes to be pristine. I do not care for the box, especially being in Japan and bringing this home with me. I don't have space for this box when I have multiple of these I want to get and bring home with me. So, I mean, I'm going to bag her into something else and I'm going to get rid of the boxes. But just because the box might have skerfuffled corner here or there, you get this like 50% off sometimes. It's nuts. So absolutely worth it. It's pretty cool. Let's get her open.
I'm so jealous of Japan, Eric. My goodness, I'd love to go back. I will go back one day. In any case, let's get a look at this amazingly beautiful figure. First things first, I have to mention that I really looked this figure from top to bottom, and she looks so much like all the product shots. I find it impressive how Square Enix, or well, Flare for that matter, keeps pumping out these bangers. The quality is exceptionally good, and their price points are very fair. I'm just really blown away by figures like this. I'll start off by talking about the color scheme. It's a lot softer than what you see in the game, but it looks like the illustration. It's so beautiful, and I'm glad they went the illustration route over making her look like the video game character specifically. The face is so incredibly soft, it's very beautiful, everything feels so round. The face is round, these little plant pieces are round, even the hair and the way it flows is round, and the hair, oh my gosh. I own a lot of anime figures, and I can... It's a tough call, but I think the hair on this figure is the nicest I've ever seen. You hardly see any of the seams, everything just flows so beautifully with a super cute little bow at the bottom that has incredibly good shading and beautiful highlights. This figure is absolutely astounding. The base could have just been a boring everyday black one, but here we have this transparent green one that says Trials of Mana on it. That's really something. She has this staff over here. This thing is actually like, it unclicks from the front metal part and you can pull it out. When you get her, she has like a plastic rod that's in her hand. I think that's so that her hand doesn't deform over time if you buy it a couple years later, so everything fits really, really well. It goes through the back of her hair, and it looks gorgeous. It looks so beautiful. I love the feathered headpiece. It looks so accurate. All the little gold trim and the silver, like the details on this thing are nuts. The skin looks so soft, and even like the little transparency pieces are very well done. It's just all around a beautiful piece. When I had gotten this in Japan, I got pretty lucky, but for real, as I continued my trip through Japan, I saw it a lot of places for crazy discount bargain bin prices. I picked mine up at Leschenbang, and she was used but never been opened. There's like a little notch on the side of the box. So I was just astounded at how low I paid for this figure, and she was worth anything under $100. Honestly, this is nuts. And even the actual price that she came out with, I would say she's worth it. She's very, very beautiful. You don't really need to know the character to appreciate how gorgeous this is. When I was younger, I grew up playing Secret of Mana. I'm a huge fan of that one. I believe that's the second game. And then I played the third one on emulators on my old PC back in the 90s. When they came out with Trials of Mana, I purchased it for the Switch, but I never got around to playing it. I just really don't have time. But one day, maybe, I think it's really cool that she has the gem in her forehead. That's beautiful. Her incredibly soft eyes, the small mouth, the round cheeks. This character is so sweet looking. And when I say sweet, I don't mean like awesome. I mean just she looks like a sweet character despite how rugged I'd say she is in the actual game. Just mentioning the gem one more time, I love how they put a reflective piece behind the actual transparent plastic, so it actually looks like some sort of magical gem. This makes her a pretty intriguing monster girl, if you will. My one single gripe with the whole figure would be the pose, while at the same time it's something I definitely would praise. The pose is so dynamic, it's beautiful, and everything flows with it. The hair, the weapon, the hand, the facial expression, it all just looks like some calculated martial artist about to dodge an attack and then go into some combat. It's awesome. The one problem I fear from something like this is leaning. I feel like the plastic piece at the base, it's a hard plastic. It all depends on how high up that metal bar goes. Dang, I would love to see some people take figures apart just so I could see if some of these things will last with time. Arguably, I'm not taking the chance. I have figures that have leaned in the past in ways that are disgusting. They can't even stand anymore. I've picked up the pegs from hobby stores. A lot of times they have them for miniatures if you want to make them look like they're flying, and you can get different type of widths too and thicknesses, so that's pretty cool. And then afterwards I kind of just attached this little Lego round piece at the base. It's not even really plugged in there perfectly, but it looks nice and it stabilizes it. And I love the attention to little details. This figure is full of all these little details, but even under these little plant leaf things, you can actually see the stripes and the design that goes under this kind of clothing. It's very well thought out. The one thing I would say is maybe I would have enjoyed a bit more paint apps on her actual metal spear piece, but it does look like the illustration in the game, so, you know, I shouldn't really complain. It's accurate. I'm not going to complain about accuracy. Heck, they even put some shine on the fingernails. This is so impressive. I find it intriguing that her design gives her a longer body and shorter legs. A lot of anime statues will elongate the legs, and in this case, they've kind of made her, I guess, feel more like a realistic looking body type, despite having the jewel on the head. What I find so appealing about this figure's design is the fact that it's got so many little details all over it, from the earrings to the little pieces on her bracers to the design around her shoes. Yet at the same time, everything is so soft and there's so many large areas that don't have a lot of detail. So it's very well balanced. And my goodness, again, that hair, I can't stop talking about it, but there's shading, there's highlights, it flows so nicely. Everything about this is very impressive. So if you are on the fence about getting this figure, don't be. She's absolutely worth it, especially since her price really tanked. I don't really know why. All I can assume is maybe she's just not the most popular character in the world, and that makes sense. I mean, not everybody, especially in the Western market, have played this game, and then when they finally released Trials of Mana to the Western audience, we get a 3D version that's single player that the older school fans were not too happy about. And how many people were running to their local game stores to pick that up? I think it's awesome, but it's not for everybody. So that puts a beautiful figure like this down to a lower cost due to obscurity. That's the sort of stuff I love. I own a lot of figures that I've never played the game. I hardly know the source material, but I think they look beautiful. I love supporting gorgeous designs. And that about sums up my video on Trials of Mana Riesz. If you like my video even just a little bit, it doesn't cost much to hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification bell. So if I make other video reviews, either on anime statues or on anime TV shows, you can always follow me there. I also make my Japan trip videos, so you can see a bunch of things that I did while in Japan. Thank you so much for watching, and have an awesome rest of your day. Bye!
My gosh, they taped this thing up so hardcore, like, what the gee. Alright, one slice of plastic down.